of the session, and as soon as everybody is seated, we'll begin. Okay, let's start.
Mr. Sasakawa, Mr. Deguchi, Sylff Secretariat, administrators and students of APU. My name is Susan Banky. 20 years ago, almost to the day, I had a decision to make. Where should I go to graduate school? One of the choices would have put me in enormous debt. The other was funded by Sylff at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. And I chose the second. And because of the generosity of the Sylff program, I was able to pursue humanitarian work because I didn't have crushing debt after graduate school. And I had the unforgettable chance to study under John Curtis Perry, who sends a message to everyone here today, and his personal wishes to you, Mr. Sasakawa. And this is a photograph that I took just a few months ago, where we are holding a photograph of all of these Sylff fellows, so that he really gets to see the legacy of the work that has happened since many years ago. The Fletcher School was the first school that was a recipient of Sylff's generosity, of Mr. Sasakawa's generosity. My life was irrevocably changed by Sylff. I've had the chance to work in microfinance in West Papua. I have lived with and worked with and learned from refugees around the world, including refugees from Myanmar living in Takadanu Baba. And today I am at the University of Sydney, where I teach on topics about which I am greatly passionate: human rights, refugees, and social protest. And none of this would have been possible without Sylff. But this isn't about me alone. I am proud to say that my work has influenced others and has improved other lives, the way ripples move outward from pebbles in a pond. One refugee has created jobs for thousands of others, and one of my former students has created gender equity videos that have been viewed hundreds of thousands of times in Nepal. We can trace all of this back to Sylff. And if that weren't enough, I am now part of this amazing, vibrant group of Sylff leaders who have come together to grapple with the profoundly important issues of food production and food security and food sovereignty. I don't think that we will solve hunger by 2030, but harnessing the power of this group will, I believe, move our overstretched planet in the right direction. It's impossible to separate out food justice from our natural environment, and I'd like to focus on that for just one moment. The environment, and specifically on trees. We are increasingly learning that trees are miraculous organisms. Their roots, invisible to the casual observer, run underground and stretch far beyond what was previously understood. It turns out that these symbols of Mother Earth are capable of communication. They protect each other when threats emerge, and they share resources, somehow using chemical reactions under the soil to feed one another. It's not too much of a stretch to say that the Sylff leaders remind me of those trees. Our networks spread far and wide in quiet and powerful ways. I can only hope that, as with trees, our collective roots grow longer and stronger as time passes. And Mr. Deguchi said that it's very important to have a little bit of play in our 4P solution for the world. So in that spirit, I'd like to finish with a poem that I have written just for today. We are 20, diverse aplenty. Sylff's programs give a helping hand from Australia to New Zealand. We are 20, we laugh aplenty. We hail from Poland, Brazil, UK, Italy, Greece, and the USA. We are 20, we eat aplenty. We're Slovaks, Serbs, and of course the Swiss. We're Chinese, Germans, and also Spanish. We are 20, we work aplenty. Nigerian, Mongolian, Bulgarian too, Canadian, Indian, and a South African crew. How very lucky we 20 are to gather as friends from so very far, and our thanks are due to one special man. We bow in gratitude. Sasakawa-san.
Okay. Very good morning, everyone. I'm Namin. I'm from Mongolia. I'm a Sylff of National Academy of Governors in 2010. I work for the Mongolian government as a legal officer. And I'm a second generation of the herders. As you know, the Mongolians are the nomadic people who still nowadays have a keep their adopting their nomadic way of living. And still we have a pastoral lifestyle husbandry until now. So, as a second generation of that nomadic herdsman, and who had a high education in our family, and my both grandparents were herdsmen, and they moved to capital city to pursue their children's education. And as you know, that nomad people, we are known as one of the organic food producers, the way of more sustainable way, more naturally environmentally friendly. So in these two workshops, the April and September workshops, we had many issues encouraged for the local knowledge, and local food should be encouraged to shelter each other globally, right? So I take this opportunity, I would like to share that my story of that national food is called aro. So here, I'm not competing with smuggling the dairy products to Japan, so I tried myself to make it here. So please have a taste. I'm here to share if the taste is not familiar with you, but somehow that Oda-san, Keiko-san, and my fellow they might be familiar with this taste. So why the arm is important? It's, as you see that the nutritious factor, and also this is the high calcium. The calcium is the main promotion of our teeth and bones, right? So this food is the one of the local food which we should be shared globally, and this knowledge should be shared with others. But unfortunately, recently we have this food was and this food was promoted and recognized as treat for dogs. I'm a big lover of dogs, but this local food, as a delicacy of our knowledge of our people, can be accepted or can be promoted like this. Is it ethically acceptable or not? I'm not judging here or concluding here for today. I just wanted to deliver the message how the nomadic people or that other people at the local food was promoted like this way. This can be okay or not. So I want to deliver this message to the Sylff workshop for the further. You can give us a feedback, having a reduced outstanding fellows might have a solution how to we decide and solve in these issues. So if you see and hear one of the international markets, they have promoted that the Mongolian aro as a naturally handmade and friendly production for dogs. So this can be the further Sylff workshop discussion might be, and I'm thrilled to be part of these outstanding fellows, and I am very thankful for the Sylff Association for giving me the part of this opportunity in here. And 最後に笹川さんとSylffと AP 大学の皆さんに本当にどうもありがとうございました。これまた大変お世話になりました。Thank you so much. これで以上です。
Good afternoon. Konnichiwa. Arratsaldeon guztioi. is Iker. I'm coming from Deusto University. I'm currently working in Venezuela, trying to support the emergency of the migration crisis. And I'm suffering kidney stones. I'm saying this because 24 hours before coming here, I was in an emergency unit of a hospital in Bogota, and they offered me to get surgery or to try a natural way, and I say, no way, I can't miss the opportunity to meet my other family, the Sylff family. So I'm very happy to be here with you. Well, I would like to share with you very quickly my life story in 5 minutes. I was 8 and everything was easy. I had all I needed. I had a dream. And I said to myself, let's make it happen. I was involved in a boys and girls scout group at home, Basque Country, Spain. I did not realize at that time how important would be for the rest of my life what I learned there, values and principles. My Rosetta Stone to read the world of 1,000 languages and cultures, revolutionary education, conflict resolution, gender equality, solidarity, perseverance, be trustworthy again, team building, emotional intelligence. At the school, I was surrounded by excellent students, but they were not like me, they were not like us. School had its limits. It was not enough. Something was missing. I had to travel, learn by doing, live, feel, and understand that big world by myself. What about helping people in need? Yes. So 12 years ago, I started a fantastic life adventure. I was not alone. There was someone that believed in my life projects, my family, my friends, and the Sylff Foundation. Thanks to all of them, I got involved in humanitarian and peace-building studies. I became part of more than 8 humanitarian missions: Cameroon, Chad, Central African Republic, Lebanon, Haiti, Ecuador, places that I only knew in the Mapa Mundi. I learned and I helped people in need of clean water, sanitation, education, malnutrition, health, resilience to face conflict and natural disaster contexts. Great life experience here. But I'm not the only one. It means I'm not alone. There are many inspiring people around here and out there. Fantastic. That is what I bring with me from this Sylff workshop. We're not alone. All beautifully different, and at the same time, with the same core values and principles. Different paths, same goals. We're not scared of change. We see crisis as an opportunity to improve. We cannot always choose the problems, but we can, and we actually choose the way to face the challenge. We put our will in action. We lead ourselves before we lead anyone else. Schooling is needed, but not always enough. Good will leaders are needed. Thank you for keeping our dreams alive. If I may, as a sign of respect in my culture in the Basque Country, those that win a championship, they do not get a trophy, they get a chapela. Chapela is the way to say chapeldun is the person that wears a chapela. That is the person that win a competition or a life project is the one that deserves to wear that chapela. So somehow, from my culture and somehow doing a clairvoyant to our Sylff fellows, we would like to share with you, Mrs. Asakawa, an element of respect and thank you.
Mr. Sasakawa, Mr. President of APU, students of APU. My name is Adelasia Dibonai. I am a PhD sociologist and a gender expert by trade. I received my first Sylff fellowship in 2004 while attending the Institute of Political Education Pedro Arrupa in Palermo and in Italy, where I received my international master in public policies. I just wanted to show you through these pictures that what was the power that I had throughout my life, and that was the power of the group. I spent the last 10 years working as an advisor, consultant, and researcher in civilian and military context. My focus is on topics such as gender equality and women empowerment and women and conflict. I gained military experience serving as a reserve officer of the Italian army inside the NATO HQ, working as a functional specialist on social analysis and gender in conflict. After leaving my military assignment last year, I'm currently serving at the United Nations Development Program in Namibia as a gender technical advisor for the Ministry of Gender Equality, supporting the Namibian government on the implementation of the country's gender responsive budgeting. And the dress that I'm wearing today is to honor my host country. Today, I'm one of the 20 fellows selected for the Sylff workshop, and being surrounded by such amazing colleagues, thank you all for these days together, really, with such diverse work experiences and brilliant careers, makes me really realize the privilege, the honor, and the pride of being part of the Sylff family. Therefore, first and foremost, I'd like to express my utmost gratitude to you, Mr. Sasakawa, for making the difference in my education, supporting a lot of international experience that I could never have envisaged before 2004. Looking backwards to reflect on my path, I still remember the quote that I put at the beginning of my doctoral thesis: "Chance favors only the prepared minds." I worked hard to be prepared to catch sudden flashes of opportunities that came across my way. And those offered to me by Sylff, actually 4 or 5, have contributed to make me the woman and the professional that I am today. For this, I will be eternally grateful and always much obliged. And please, I really like to thank, a special thanks to Sanae, to Keita, to Mari, and to all the staff for all that you did for us in this youth session. My utmost gratefulness also to you. I was 29 when I was officially labeled as a young leader by Sylff for the first time, but I learned about leadership long before that, being a team handball player, something that prepared me to face all the real challenges that life brings. I learned something more about leadership when I joined the army, where the mantra is lead by example. However, you can really learn something only from those officers who walk the talk. Good leadership is not fixed or absolute nor stagnant. Like any other thing in the military, you need to adapt while you observe and listen to your environment. And this is something I applied as an army officer and in my current position in Namibia, inside of the United Nations family. Leading by example means that you do what you say and you're going to do, and you bridge the gap only if your actions are prompted by values. My values are integrity. First thing is integrity. It's my ethical compass. It's my constellation of values. And the second is responsibility, which means taking ownership of my actions. This means that I have the freedom to choose among the many choices and opportunity, but I'm not free from the consequences of my choices. Let me wrap up very, sorry, I take it long. So my vision for 2030 is the one of United Nations. I really would like that nobody in this planet will be left behind. Thank you very much for your attention.
university is York University in Toronto. I'm an independent filmmaker and an artist and an archive researcher. My father is Cree, Indigenous from the South Indian Lake, which is in northern Manitoba. It's a central province. And my mother's family are German settler farmers who landed in Blackfoot territory in the province of Alberta. I became an environmentalist fighting for food justice as a result of the need to support my Indigenous community in the battle to protect our land and food sources from unfettered development, and in the battle to be treated as equals in Canada. The topics we speak about, that we've spoken about in this workshop, are very familiar to us as Indigenous people. Hunger, food insecurity, lack of access to clean water, extreme poverty, the effects of resource development. In fact, my original Sylff funding in 2007 was for my master's thesis, which was a documentary related to the effects of resource extraction on food sources. As a mixed race person who has studied the histories of both of my parents' cultures, I still see these histories playing out in the present day when I look at our inequalities. And as leaders who seek to make change on the world scale, one of my messages has been for us to keep in mind that in every country there are small local and indigenous communities that have a connection to land from food production. That there's a deep knowledge there that can help us tackle the larger issue of food security worldwide. We would be very wise to ask for the input of these communities when we meet us. We would be very wise to ask for the input of these communities and also their full participation or risk repeating the mistakes of the past. I believe that we need to look at our failures and peek into those uncomfortable sore spots and then commit to doing better. And I believe that a first step to a better world is to build alliances. So I'd like to thank the Sylff organization for this wonderful opportunity to share my perspective and be a part of building these alliances. I just want to talk about this photo here. This is my Uncle Rob, and he's holding a moose tongue. The tongue. So this is a traditional delicacy in Canada's north. It's kind of rare because there's only one of them per animal. And I love this photo because it represents how traditional foods create joy in people despite their disadvantages. In Japan, we've experienced firsthand the joy of traditional food. And I believe that one of the ways to true well-being for humanity is to be able to hold on to the joy of traditional food. So that's why I'm sharing that with you today. As a result of this Sylff program, I have renewed confidence in humanity. The people in this room and the goals of the Tokyo Foundation and Sylff have made me realize how, despite the neo-colonial right-wing trends that we see playing out in world politics, there are still many very intelligent and caring people who are willing to help and make a better world. I'm very honored to be here. And my sincerest thank you to Mr. Sasakawa, the Nippon Foundation, Tokyo Foundation for Social Change, APU University, Foresight Intelligence, and the endlessly hardworking Sylff Secretariat for having the vision to create this workshop and to support us fellows. Thank you.
Good afternoon to Mr. Sasakawa, to President Deguchi and the APU family, the Sylff Association, to my new Sylff family, and other invited guests. My name is Rania Foy Connor. a wife and mother, originally from Queens, New York, United States. I'm the daughter of a retired teacher who taught children with disabilities for 35 years. I'm the granddaughter of African American migrants from the southern United States. My grandfather, a World War II United States Navy veteran who lived until the age of 104. And my grandmother, who was a part-time toy factory worker and a full-time mother of 4. Today, I wear my hair in a modern braid and twist style to represent my literal roots in the culture of the Black diaspora. I'm the first in my family to earn a doctoral degree, thanks to the support of the Sasakawa Fellowship at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Thank you, Mr. Sasakawa. Since that time, 2 additional members of the Foy family have also gone on to earn PhD degrees. I now live and work in the tiny but powerful 35 square mile island of Anguilla, located in the Eastern Caribbean. The colors of the flag, which you see on the top there, and also what I'm wearing, is orange, blue, and white. It represents the vibrancy of the people, the color orange, the crystal clear sea waters, the color blue, which hopefully you all will get to experience one day for yourself, and the white color to represent the purity of spirit of the people. Working in gender affairs for the government of Anguilla, I focus on assisting women survivors of violence and abuse to reach their God-given purpose and to create an island community of inclusion and safety. Out of this leaders workshop, I'm so proud that I will continue to now launch a therapeutic community garden specifically for gender-based violence survivors. Thank you to my team for helping to put it together. I also work closely with mentoring young entrepreneurs, the second item there, through the Anguilla Youth Business Foundation, and really building social enterprises on the island. This is my passion. The very words that make my heart skip a beat is social entrepreneurship. I want to now thank the Sasakawa Foundation and the Leaders Workshop for giving me this opportunity to dream big again. I never thought that I would be one of 20 fellows for this first Leaders Workshop. It has been motivational to share my thoughts, my ideas, and experiences, and to learn about the interests and the influence of all of you. I'd like to close by saying that no matter how old or young you are, no matter where you come from or what your life path has been, please never doubt your convictions to make a positive change in just one person's life. Mr. Sasakawa has made that mark in our lives, and I thank him for literally endowing us and creating a legacy that I know will never end. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Yes. My name is Rosângela Malaquias, from Brazil. I am adjunct professor at Rio de Janeiro State University. First, I have to thank God, Jesus, and my ancestors. Because of them, my life is good. I also want to thank Mr. Sasakawa-san and all Sylff staff for giving me the opportunity to be here in Japan with these inspiring leaders. This slide shows 2 oil paintings created at different times by 2 African Brazilian artists. They are also my ancestors. Both paintings show the same Orisha. It's an African god. His name is Eshu, the owner of the crossroads, the Lord of communication. On the right side, Abdias Nascimento, memoriam, is the artist. On the left side, this one is Zul Mais, Zulmira Gomes Leite, my mom. She is really sick with cancer in this moment. She is the great artist too. This slide also can show to you the meaning of Sankofa, whose meaning summarizes our possibility to learn from the past in order to build a new future. In 2001, the Sasakawa Scholarship introduced me to a new professional activity as a consultant acting in training of teachers from public schools in my country, and talking about the necessary intersections among the concept of gender, race, and class, using art also. Initiating pedagogical dialogues with teachers, 1,000 of teachers in my country, maybe 1,000 of schools, because I travel to all the country doing this. And I was fortunate to have the opportunity to stop working to devote myself to PhD research in University of São Paulo, USP. I had a choice. The Brazilian black women did not have a choice. We still are at the bottom of society. However, as Eshu, the field of communication became my way, and the education gave me many possibilities to learn and spread knowledge across the continents. The Sasakawa Scholarship opened successful path for my life. Thank you very much. Muito obrigada.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'm sorry there's no slide, but we move on. My name is Andrew Prosser. It's really a privilege to be here with all of you today, and also very difficult, I think, to follow all the eloquent speakers that have come before me. I'd just like to say a little bit about my background. So I'm from the United States, more recently from Switzerland as well. And I was a Sylff Fellow at the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies in 2005 to 2006. And I currently work for the United Nations in Geneva on crime and security issues. We were told in our presentations that we could incorporate some of our home country's culture into our presentations today. So I thought of maybe a baseball demonstration. could be a little bit risky, and you already know about baseball here in Japan. So then I thought about, because of my Swiss connection, I could maybe perform a traditional form of singing called yodel. But trust me, you really don't want to hear me yodel. So instead, I'd like to emphasize a couple of key points. First of all, the various Sylff programs have played a crucial role in supporting my development, my professional and academic development over the years, and I'm really truly grateful for this support. In particular, this includes supporting my PhD studies and a Sylff mobility grant in 2006 to conduct research on nuclear policy in India. And secondly, another point I'd like to make is that this Sylff Leaders Workshop has really been an incredible experience. It brought me to Japan for the first time and allowed me to discover Japan's culture and some of the incredible things Japan has to offer. I also gained insights into this important topic of food security, which was a lot of relatively new information for me. I also was able to, through this workshop, I was able to refine my skills in planning, in intercultural diplomacy, and I think these activities will only help my future professional endeavors. And I even improved my karaoke skills. And I escaped death by surviving 5 courses of poisonous pufferfish. But I think maybe my most important, the most important aspect has been, in terms of my professional and leadership development, the way that interacting with these 19 other fellows and their selfless dedication to humanity has given me new inspiration, really inspired me to achieve new heights and to seek out meaningful change. And I think that's especially true in light of the current situation in global affairs with a number of challenges, a lot of conflict, a lot of populism. So this experience has really been kind of very motivating and very inspiring. So I haven't heard the bell yet, but I think I can conclude by just extending my sincere thanks to the Nippon Foundation, to you, Mr. Sasakawa, to the Sylff Association, and all the staff that have worked so hard. There it is. Really, my sincere appreciation, and of course to all of the fellows, the other fellows who have made this experience possible. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sasakawa, the President, ladies and gentlemen, I hope not to end your day with a very boring presentation or very disturbing pictures, but I felt we should know what is there. The first picture here on the left is the most wanted person. Chief, let me say, a group, the leader of a terrorist organization called Boko Haram, probably some of you know about it. And the other picture there, a group of young ladies, this group, they were kidnapped by the Boko Haram, about 200 of them. So the current narration then for my PhD was this group was essentially religious bigots, but looking at this graph here, this is oil production in Nigeria. Seeing how Nigeria is wealthy, you see oil production in millions of barrels per day. I felt there should be another narration to this. What should I do? Plan for a PhD just to research it. But then there's a problem of funding. But then I have some savings. I applied to invest in Malaysia to study how poor governments actually exacerbates this situation. And I got a professor who was willing to actually study. With my little savings, I left and we started. But there was a problem in the second year. My savings dried up. And I deferred the semester. A week before I left, the professor called me that your application to SALI was successful and Mr. Sasakawa wants to know the result of this project. I was glad and happy. So I can tell you today, Mr. Sasakawa, your funds has made a lot of changes in Nigeria because I'm currently working in one of the most successful law enforcement agencies in Nigeria that fights against corruption and entrench good government, because my research saw the link between terrorism in Nigeria and poor government in the country. Before I came, just yesterday, I think the former Chief Justice of the Federation actually resigned because we actually wrote a diamond about him, and I was part and parcel of actually that research, that investigation. That he resigned yesterday due to actually uncovered. So I can say the funds you provided not going to win. It's making a lot of difference, and I hope you should invest more in Africa towards educating people, you know, to eradicate more poverty and insecurity. Thank you very much.
To Mr. Sasakawa, Ms. Sasakawa, the Nippon family, the president of the APU, the students of this, I greet you, Olbeni, Tumalong, Sawubona, good day, Goeiemorgen. In the name of South Africa, one that is framed by our older statesman, Lord Shala Mandela's vision. So here I am, Debbie, a woman of color, and as you can see, these are my sisters and my mom and my sister-in-law. My dad had passed on at that time. A woman of color, and it gives you a kind of perspective of my identity. Who, as an adult learner, was privileged to be supported in all my studies by international donor aid. So I have a crucial, an inside view of all the kinds of donor aid. My induction into academia was to a college for detainees coming off Robben Island in the mid-80s. From here, as a Sylff doctoral fellow, the first one at UWC 1996, when we started to plan for our new leadership, this placed me on a leadership path from NGOs to university to become a professor, and then I was appointed by the minister onto his council to oversee university reforms. And this gave me a very deep insight into how parliament and legislation actually works in practice. So what has been the changes? I think being selected onto a project such as this, getting me to the heart of the stomach, is a capstone to a career that has made me a scholar activist. I think this project takes the topic of food production in what I would define as a challenge-led way, by which I mean that it's actually the individual differences to the topic that is actually shaping it. The change in value for me has been one of a stronger commitment to equity, because I think that the struggle is global. And I think there needs to be more global conversations to develop consensual thinking like this one. But I've also had a change in cognition. I learned about food as a human right, not as a commodity. What has been the perspective? I think as part of my succession planning, I have to train the next generation of leaders in my country. So I have some thoughts. The two workshops, I think it further disrupted some of my political ideas. And so I would shepherd them. And I would say to them, keep your passion for change at the fore. Be guided by the principle of enhancing the quality and ethics of human life. And at the same time, keep an openness to a range of ideas. Another thought, I would also say, think about how food gets onto the shelf. Because when I arrived in Japan, the image of food was actually on the shelf or with a street trader. I wasn't thinking about the process. So what about the future? I think that there are strong moves globally to the right, that societies are closing up and in on themselves, that the value of individualism, of Western thinking is being challenged. The world is polarized. But on the positive side, the societies that have been on the margins are now entering the center. So I think that there will be productive shifts in how we think about food production. And what is defined as local knowledge might enter the global domain as mainstream thinking. Leadership for 2030? I am trained in the Western model of leadership that separates the heart from the head. I want to reimagine myself in the image of eldership rather than leadership. And here I am finding the Japanese holistic approach very helpful. Few further thoughts? I come from a society in crisis, in transition, where we are having to develop new rules to engage and dialogue with one another. And here I'm learning from Japanese culture. So just a few concluding points. I find Japanese culture to be strongly rule-bound, high work ethics, very respectable and humble, and I'll take this with me. But I also want to add, I've been struck by you as a nation, how you have worked in a positive way with your environmental adversity. Just take the onsen as an example. You have turned loss into a productive force. Now, Mr. Sasakawa, and if you would permit me, someone small, I honor you as a social philanthropist. Your kindness and example of cooperation and care has been mirrored in the Sylff and Nippon team. A true elder. Origato. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We would like to formally close the session. Once again, please give a big hand to the fellows. And I would like to thank everyone for this successful session. Unfortunately, Mr. Sasakawa has to catch a flight.